should we move on into automation? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So tell me about, first of all, what is automation? If someone's never heard of it, what is automation and what is it part of this creation process?
You can think of automation as having little helpers to get the job done. We've talked about this on the other calls we've done where Gary Vee has a whole content team behind him. And so, yes, he's able to put out a ton of content, but he has people behind him that are able to help him. But he also uses tools too. And whenever he always spouted off on the rooftop saying you need to be making 100 pieces of content a day, people were like, oh, how do I do it? Like, oh shit, I can't do that. That's too much. It's too much. I realized the real question is, how do you do it? And using automation tools is the key to doing that effectively as a solo creator. I use Nuelink, which has the strongest automations out there when it comes to social or RSS, that kind of thing. I really wanted to have, anytime I make a new YouTube video, podcast, or blog post, that my content's automatically distributed to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, etc. And I just wanted to have a simple tweet, like, hey, here's a new video from my channel, go check it out. And then from there, I'll actually work on making like more marketing assets, making pictures or clips, stuff that actually draw attention to it. But people might just want to know you have something new. And so that just kind of covers the basis of it. Actually, I want to go on a little bit of a tangent here, because one of my fantasies when it comes to strategy and automation originated from the original PolyTool strategy, where if you make a new piece of content, like a YouTube video, when I wanted to make a YouTube video, I wanted to be able to post it the day of, like post a tweet about it the day of, maybe in the morning, then the next day, the evening, so I get both times of day, and then a week later, then a month later, then 6 months later, then a year later. So every piece of content has basically a year life cycle, so people can come back to it. Because usually most of this content you and I make are relatively evergreen. So I wanted to bring people up to that, even if they didn't originally see it. Because if you're on Twitter, people aren't going to be seeing your tweets. So you really wanted to make sure you're taking care of the audience that on the other side of the world kind of thing. Having automation tools helps with that. Erica brings up Missing Letter, and that was one of the tools that, while not my favorite, it is a strong tool when it comes to that strategy I mentioned before. So many tools could not do that. In fact, I don't think really most tools, even now, could do that strategy the day of, day later, week later, month later, that kind of thing. That interesting strategy I mentioned, but Missing Letter was one of the few ones that could. Co-Schedule is another one that could do it as well. But Missing Letter also had a couple lifetime deals, which I think is pretty cool.
If we're looking at automation, if breaking it down, it would be having helpers, right? And the helpers are helping you cut out the manual tasks and make them automated, for another term. You're just making it go automatically without any help. So examples of that, you're saying scheduling your content.
Another one would be Opus clip, for example, being able to toss one of these long form videos and make a whole bunch of clips from it. What I've noticed is that most of these repurposing tools, whether it's Content Fries or Opus Clip, Recast Studio, Shopcast, all these tools that have been around for a hot minute now, a lot of them will give you about 80% usage rate. I would almost say 85 with Opus at this point because they've refined their model so much. But a lot of them would only give you like a dozen clips for an hour-long video, which is not very much considering how much content's actually there, whereas Opus would give you about 30. And so it's one of those things where that's a huge difference when it comes to, if it's still 80% usage rate, but you get like double the amount of clips, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Let me mention another thing when it comes to automation. And this kind of goes into a strategy a little bit, like you're planning your strategy, but you're using automation to remind yourself. So I use Obsidian for my knowledge management, but I also used Notion in the past. And these tools allow you to organize your ideas and structure. So right now I'm looking at Obsidian with the ideas that we're talking about. Because the thing is, I need a way to plan out ahead and automate the process. So I don't have to go back and figure out what do I need to do today. And have reminders like, hey, now it's time to do this piece of content. So every day on the 1st of the month, I have a vlog that goes out and I have reminders on my phone. Hey, today's the 1st. Let's go ahead and do that piece of content. And so planning out your content ahead of time using tools like Notion. And so it allows me to still kind of plan out using a calendar. And that was the big thing with Notion. I was able to create a calendar that I could then plan out the content ahead of time.
Look, you're getting tools galore. Remember, breathe. You don't have to use all of them. We're just showing you examples. Use something that will work and for you to stay on track.